Next up is KeepAWolf13. She says, and I know it's she, haha, hey Paint, I got questions for you. Evil smiley face. At least that's what it looks like to me. First up, if you could be any anime character, who would it be and why? I did spend a lot of time thinking of this, and I can't remember half of the anime that I've ever watched. So these answers will probably change through time when I remember that stuff. The first thing that came to mind, or first person that came to mind, was Lelouch from Code Geass, because he's very smart and he hangs around a lot of cool people, and the technology in the world is pretty awesome. They have lots of mechs. Also for the fact that he has a power called Geass, and he can make people do whatever he says, at least once. So that might be part of why it is. Another answer would be Major Kusanagi from Ghost in the Shell, because she's totally badass and has major skills in several different areas like fighting and hacking, and I don't know, she's just really cool. I suppose I can throw in a couple of other people, but I think I should just move on to an interesting second question, which would be Metal Gear. That was quite horrible. Don't flame me for that. Nobody can really do a great Solid Snake impersonation, so yeah. And the third question is really confusing. I don't understand it, why you wasted your third question on this, but she asked, did you get your daily supply of nom noms? Oh, Icon has a cheeseburger, smiley face. If you're asking if I ate today, I would have to say no, because I've stayed up all night and I didn't eat anything. To my, I mean, I don't remember eating anything, but yeah, I guess that would be a no. That was a weird question. Anyways, moving on to Divine Chow 101. I has a question. If you could meet one video game character in person, who would it be? I actually forgot to prepare for this question, so I don't really have an answer. The first person that comes to mind would be... I don't know why. I thought of Jill Valentine, but then I thought of Barry. Maybe I can make some Jill sandwiches or something? I don't know. Unless it's like Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3, where she has the... I want to keep calling it a boob tube, because that's what Necroscope keeps calling it when I watch his playthrough of that. So I suppose that would be my answer. I keep wanting to think of something, but nothing comes to mind. Anyways, before I waste any more time on that, let's go on to Balious. First question is, will you subscribe to me? No, maybe? You really need to convince me somehow. Maybe with the awesome videos or money. Money works, I think. I mean, I don't have a PayPal account or anything, but, you know, it doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah, I'm just gonna move away from that question. Second up, have you ever tried voice acting for any character in a game? Well, I've done a lot of voice acting, kind of, in Thousand Arms. I mean, if the character doesn't have a voice clip for a certain situation, I'll just read it out, the text. I mean, even the women, who all seem to have a slight British accent. I don't know why that happens. I suppose I've been watching too much BBC America, and that's the result. It's also quite hilarious when I fail to do accents, so yeah, I suppose the short answer would be yes. Not professional, of course. Not even close. Okay, final question from Balious. What do you think of other games similar to Resident Evil? And he gives out some examples like Dino Crisis, Parasite Eve 2, and Silent Hill, etc. Is Parasite Eve 2 different from 1? Are they major different styles? Or, I don't know. I suppose I think they're okay. I mean, the only one I've really seen is, well, Dino Crisis, and that's just a horrible game altogether. Silent Hill, I wouldn't really call them too similar. I mean, there's certain limitations with the PlayStation 1 hardware that makes them similar. I mean, they're survival horror games, and that's about it. Next up is, for some reason, I've had trouble saying this name, but I will say it slowly. Chiral Center 3366. There we go. Finally got it, I think. Questions. Oh, great. I knew this would come up. The name, where did it come from, and why did you choose it? This is a really long thing, but I'll try and shorten it up. First up, 310 is the number that I've had on my, well, I suppose on all my online personas since August 3rd, 2003. Why that date specifically is because that's when I made my Neopets account, which is really the first online, I don't want to say MMO, but like the first online game that I've ever played. That's because most of the people in my orchestra class were playing it. The teacher also played, and they kept talking about it all the time, and I wanted to get into that. And I chose, I feel kind of embarrassed, but the name I chose for my online person was Kasumi, because I played a lot of Dead or Alive then. I wasn't really into fighters, but I like Dead or Alive because it's so fast-paced and stuff. And Kasumi was my favorite character because she's, I believe, is the fastest one, and I prefer speed and techniques over just plain power. So I picked her a lot. So I tried to type in Kasumi, and of course it was taken already. And one of the suggestions was Kasumi 310, and I picked that. I don't know why. I suppose it was just the shortest of the numbers that was given to me, but that's where 310 comes from. As for the pain part, it came from the Japanese manga and anime Naruto. The leader of the enemies in the second arc, his name was Pain, and I got it from, I just looked it up on Wikipedia. I knew about the group. They're called Akatsuki, and I was just looking through all the people that were in it, and it said Pain was the leader, so I picked that guy, his name. And my sisters and I were really into Naruto back then, and we all picked a person from the Akatsuki group, and I decided to be the leader. My sister picked, well, I'm not gonna get into that because it's really dorky, but yeah, that's where it comes from. When I made this profile, I just used it to keep track of videos that I like through favoriting and stuff. I guess when I first started Let's Playing, I wasn't bothered to come up with a name because I knew I wouldn't be successful. Nobody would watch my videos, and I didn't really care. But now I kind of wish that I created another profile and come up with a better name. Preferably something without numbers, because it just looks so much better without a number attached to the end. I can't think of anything now, and I can't really be bothered to think of anything because if I were, then I would have to transfer all my videos to that profile, and that's just a lot of work. I had more to say, but I can't remember it, and I'm too busy thinking about how much of a nerd I sound like right now. So I'm going to move on to the second question from Chiral. If A is for Apple, what is X for? Well, in the phonetic alphabet, X is for X-ray. There you go. I love this next question. Quick, the third question. It's really important. You're running from the cops. Don't ask me why, you don't have enough time. Oh noes! You jump across the rooftop, looking all cool like. You stop for a second. You see a glass. It's partially filled. Is it half empty or half full? Hurry up, they're gonna catch you. Quick, decide! Deciding. I'm not good at deciding. It's both. I picked the cop-out answer. It's both. It depends what it's full of. It's not gonna help me get away from the cops, I don't think, so I really shouldn't dwell on the question of whether it's half full or half empty. But yeah, that's my cop-out answer. It's both. And I'm not sure if that means I'm the wisest person because I can see both sides, but it just means that I don't like deciding stuff. And then he goes on to apologize for his lack of imagination, which I like the third question. That's great. And I figured somebody would ask the first one. So yeah, getting close to the end actually. Huh. Well, it doesn't take that long. Not that many people watch me. I mean, come on. dantephreak. You ask for questions, you get them. What would be on a pain sandwich? I don't know what goes on sandwiches either, so I'm just gonna pick some random stuff that I know, which is little. Of course, a pain sandwich would contain me, pain. I suppose lettuce, jalapenos, different kinds of cheeses. See, what else do I like? General Tso's chicken, which is Chinese. It's very good. Fajita meat. Gummy worms are great. Let's see, Pocky. I had some nice coffee and milk Pocky before. I think that might have been my favorite one so far. I've seen sandwiches inside of sandwiches, so I'm going to say it's Jill sandwich. And all of that's going to be on a Parmesan oregano bread, which is what I use when I go to Subways. So yeah. Second question from dantephreak. Who besides yourself is your favorite LPer? I really don't like picking favorites, especially since these are my favorite children. Well, I was supposed to be more like my father's. That just sounds weird. But my top 3 favorites, I can definitely tell you. In no particular order, I'm gonna say, without a doubt, Kikoskia, Necroscope 86, and Playing with My Wii. I could pick 2 from the 3 and narrow it down then, but I really don't want to. That's all you're gonna get from me. I'm gonna pick top 3. Unless you have a gun to my head, I'm not gonna say anything else. And moving on to the third question from dantephreak. If 2 trains are going towards each other on a 100-kilometer track, one at 30, well, it says MPS, so I assume that's 30 miles per second, and the other at 50 miles per hour, then what time will dinner be served? Well, in my house, dinner is served when you're hungry. It's not really any specific time, it's just whenever. So I really don't know what time dinner is properly served at. I want to say like 4:30ish. That's probably a little early, isn't it? I'm trying to think of what time it is at my grandma's house. I'm gonna say it's like at maybe 6ish. So I guess I would say 6:30. That's what time dinner would be served. Otherwise, I think you'd be too hungry before you go to bed to go to sleep. I don't know. I suppose that's a good enough answer.